Now we will discuss environment related questions which was asked in the UPSC 2025 prelims question paper. This question starts from 31 to 40. 31st question. Statement 1. Studies indicate that carbon dioxide emissions from cement industry account for more than 5% of global carbon emissions. Statement 2. Silica bearing clay is mixed with limestone while manufacturing cement. Statement 3. Limestone is converted into lime during clinker production for cement manufacturing. They have given this, which one of the following statement in respect of above is correct. Both statement 2 and 3 are correct and both of them explain statement 1. Both statement 2 and 3 are correct, but only one of them explains statement 1. Only one of the statements of 2 and 3 are correct and that explains statement 1, and neither 2 nor 3 is correct. These are the questions which have been asked in the 2023 UPSC paper, which they have given these 3 statement questions. Only one question they have given, and now in this paper they have asked around 10 to 12 questions in this type of theme. Like they have asking this statement 1, statement 2 and statement 3. Then they are asking this statement 1 is explaining through both 2 and 3 or only 2 or neither 2 nor 3, etc. In this thing, the first statement is definitely correct in most of the times. And even because they are asking this explains the statement 1 or explains the statement 2, they are asking that. So first statement is correct. And it seems to be correct. Like more than 5% of global carbon emissions is from cement factory. They are not giving this exact statement. They are saying that more than 5. It might be correct. So you can leave that first statement. And second is silica bearing clay is mixed with limestone while manufacturing cement. This is also the correct statement. Silica plus limestone, clay plus limestone, which gives the cement. Generally, many people will know. So this is also correct. And third is limestone is converted into lime during clinker production for cement manufacturing. This one is also correct because limestone converted into lime by adding this water. During the cement manufacturing, they added this water and they finally got this dehydrated and starts the cement manufacturing. These 2 statements seems to be correct, but you have to be doubtful whether both are explaining the statement 1 or only one of them explaining statement 1. You are confused between A and B option. But in this, when you see that more than 5% of global carbon emissions means, like generally carbon emissions is associated with cement manufacturing. Then why the silica bearing clay mixed with limestone while manufacturing cement? This seems to be not relevant to the statement 1. So both of the statements are correct, but only one of them explains the statement 1. So B is the answer. 32nd question. Statement 1. At the 28th UN Climate Change Conference, COP28, India refrained from signing the Declaration on Climate and Health. This is a statement 1. Statement 2 is COP28 Declaration on Climate and Health is a binding declaration, and if signed, it becomes mandatory to carbonize health sector. And third is, if India health sector is decarbonized, the resilience of its health system may be compromised. These 3 statements they have mentioned. First is, as I already said, in this type of question, statement 1 is mostly correct because they are not targeting the statement 1, they are targeting statement 2 and 3, and whether it is explaining, both are explaining or only single statement is explaining, they are targeting. So first is correct. Declaration on Climate and Health is at the COP28. In this statement 2, they are saying that it is a binding declaration. It is one of the extreme one, and it becomes mandatory to decarbonize. Mandatory means it is impossible to decarbonize the health sector within a while. So that is also an extreme statement. It seems to be incorrect. When statement 2 is incorrect, you can definitely eliminate answer A. And at the same time, you can also eliminate B. A and B are, you can eliminate. C and D might be the answer. Third is, if India's health sector is decarbonized, the resilience of its health care system may be compromised. It is saying that resilience may be compromised, resilience of health system. Maybe means it might be correct, but how the resilience of health system is related to this carbon emissions, it seems to be illogical. According to my best of my knowledge, this C or D both might be the correct, but you have to wait for the final UPSC key to get what is the final answer. But according to my knowledge, I think this option C may be the correct. Only one of the statements is correct, and that explains the statement 1. Because Resilience of healthcare system may be compromised might be the correct statement. They didn't give that extreme or 100% sure statement, so it might be correct. 2 is definitely wrong, so it might be the C is the answer. One thing you have to observe here is in the environment related questions, like almost they have asked the 10 questions. In the 10 questions, 5 questions are related to this type of questions, statement 1, 2, 3. In this type of questions, it is difficult for us to eliminate the option. So UPSC is slowly changing the pattern of elimination techniques or logics, etc. You have to be careful over that. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. Scientific studies suggest that a shift is taking place in the Earth's rotation and axis. Statement 2. Solar flares and associated coronal mass ejections bombarded the Earth's outermost atmosphere with tremendous amount of energy. Statement 3. As the polar ice melts, the water tends to move towards the equator. These are the 3 statements. As I already said, the first statement will definitely be correct. And the second statement is, it is one of the favorite theme asked by UPSC repeatedly, that the solar flares which comes to the earth is called geomagnetic storms, and it is asked in 2022 and also in 2018 or 19 also. So it affects the outermost with large amount of energy. This statement seems to be correct. It's very generic statement. Statement 3 is, as polar ice melts, water tends to move towards the equator. Generally, in the polar ice cap where the space is very less, so it tends to move towards where the space is more. So generally, it is moving towards the equator, and even the Earth's rotation and considering all the other factors also, it is moving towards the equator. But when considering this Earth rotation and axis, I think only statement 3 is explaining that statement, not the statement 2. There is no association with statement 2. So answer is B. Both statement 2 and 3 are correct, but only that statement 3 is explaining the statement 1, not the statement 2. And next one, 34. Statement 1. Article 6 of Paris Agreement on Climate Change is frequently discussed in the global discussions on sustainable development and climate change. Statement 2. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on Climate Change sets out the principles on carbon markets. And statement 3. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on Climate Change intends to promote inter-country non-market strategies to reach their climate targets. These are the 3 statements. As I already said, first statement is definitely correct, and second is also seems to be correct because they have set out the principles of the carbon markets. They're not saying they are giving targeted or binding or any obligatory. They're just giving the principles to the carbon market. It is also correct. Third one is also seems to be correct. They're focusing on the promoting inter-country non-market strategies, not their marketing strategies or changing their business arena, but they have given the non-marketing strategies like carbon offsetting, carbon tradings, carbon cappings, etc. So the statement 2 and 3 both are trying to explain the statement 1. So answer is both statement 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them is explaining the statement 1. And next question, 35. Which one of the following launched the Nature Solution Finance Hub for Asia and Pacific? It is pure factual based question, but as I already said, some questions can be also derived, answers can also be derived from logic. They have given these options: Asian Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, New Development Bank, and International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. In this New Development Bank, which is the bank of the BRICS, why it will help to the Asia and Pacific? So you can easily eliminate that. And IBRD. IBRD is the similar to the World Bank, which mostly help for the poor countries, not to the Asian Pacific concern. It will help to the low developing countries or underdeveloped countries. So you can easily eliminate these options. They are asking specifically Asian Pacific, so answer might be the Asian Development Bank or Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. But they are saying Nature Solutions Finance Hub. So why the Infrastructure Investment Bank will give these nature solutions? They want to build the infrastructure and get their business done. So answer might be the Asian Development Bank, which wants to make the sustainable and also development in these Asia regions especially. So answer is the Asian Development Bank. And next, 36th question. With reference to direct air capture and emerging technology, which one of the following statements are correct? One is, it can be used as a way of carbon sequestration. It can be a valuable approach for plastic production and food processing. In aviation, it can be a source of carbon for combining with hydrogen to create synthetic low carbon fuel. You don't know any concept about it. Most of the times, if they give it can be or it may be, most of the statements are correct. In this, they give this it can be in. All these three statements are correct. And direct air capture is also one way of this carbon sequestration to reduce this carbon emissions. And next is, it is a valuable approach for the plastic production and in food processing. It can be. Because of this carbon sequestration technology, they might reduce and create the decarbon sector. And in aviation sector also, it can be used as a source of carbon for because they are sequestering carbon. So this carbon can be used with hydrogen and create this low carbon fuel also. So three statements are correct. C is the answer. And 37th question. Regarding peacock tarantula or Guti tarantula, consider the following statements. It is an omnivorous crustacean. Its natural habitat in India is only limited to some forest areas. Third statement is, in its natural habitat, it is an arboreal species. First statement is, it is an omnivorous crustacean. First you have to remember is, they are asking peacock tarantula. Tarantula means spider. If someone who is from the science background or biology background, they can know the tarantula is spider. Otherwise, whenever they are given in the description of the any insect name compared with the birds or anything, it is mostly an insect. For example, peacock tarantula, it is an insect. Or any butterfly names, mostly the butterfly names also mentioned with any bird or any animal, they compare with other animal because there seems to be the stripes or anything, there seems to be, they will keep that name. It is an insect. First statement is, they are saying it is an omnivorous crustacean. It is a wrong statement because all the insects comes under the arachnida. Generally, arthropods, they have divided into the crustaceans and also arachnida. Crustaceans, which includes the like crabs, horseshoe crabs, or any which have the shell, good shell, it comes under crustaceans. Arachnida is the insecta family. Its natural habitat in India is only limited to some forest areas. It is not an extreme statement, some forest areas, so it might be correct. And third one, in its natural habitat, it is an arboreal species. It is also correct. First thing you have to note here is, first, if you know the statement 1 is wrong, you can eliminate two options, A and B you can eliminate. And you are not sure of the second option, whether it is inhabited in this area or not. But in its third statement is, in its natural habitat, it is an arboreal species. Generally, spiders or etc. insects, mostly which you don't know, are present on the tree only. So it is an arboreal species, it is correct. If you know that the third statement is correct, then you can easily go to the correct answer, which is 2 and 3. And next is 38th question. Carbon dioxide emissions in India are less than 0.5 trillion carbon dioxide per capita. And second statement is, in terms of carbon dioxide emissions from fuel combustion, India ranks second in Asia Pacific region. Third statement is, electricity and heat producers are the largest sources of the carbon emissions in India. Like first thing you have to remember here is, carbon dioxide emissions, you can see the two questions are asked regarding this carbon dioxide emissions because it is one of the important theme to the UPSC to know about carbon dioxide emissions, which is a hot debate running in the environment related field. They have given this Paris Agreement, they have given this question, and also the carbon direct air capture technology. So carbon dioxide is one of the emissions, or carbon dioxide related is one of the favorite thing. And next thing is, as I already said, some few statements can be eliminated through logic. For example, they have said that less than 0.5 trillion carbon dioxide per capita. You can eliminate that. As I already said, most of the times when they give numbers, they are incorrect. So you can eliminate that. If you remove that answer, you can land up only with B and C because 1 and 3 in the A option is wrong and D is also wrong. Either B or either C might be correct. And second thing they have asked is, in terms of carbon dioxide emissions, India ranks second in Asia Pacific region. You might not be sure whether it is correct or not. So you can keep it aside. And third is, electricity and heat producers are largest sources of the carbon dioxide emissions. It seems to be the correct statement because most of the times we use the coal. Even now also around 50% of the electricity production is through coal. So it is also the correct statement. So if you think the third one is the correct statement, then you can answer directly. You can answer the third one is the C is the correct option, because 2 is present in both things, so it is common. Third one is the separate one, so you can think of it and you can keep the answer correct. 39th question. Consider the following pairs. Plant. They have given some plants and they have also given some description. Cassava, ginger, Malabar spinach, mint, papaya. Cassava, woody shrub. Ginger, herb with pseudostem. Malabar spinach, herbaceous climber. Mint, annual shrub. Papaya, woody shrub. Cassava is one of the favorite option to the UPSC. They have mentioned this cassava in previous year question paper, and even in the 2017 or 18 question paper also they have mentioned about cassava. So you might know something about this cassava. It is the starchy diet, like consists of more carbohydrate. It is a staple diet in African regions. First they have given this shrub, herb, and they are given these options. Means herbs are the small plants which are generally grow over the ground only, with small rise up to like few centimeters only. Shrub is something larger than the herb, might be to 1 meter or less than that. And next thing is trees. Trees are woody. The stem is very woody, and they are also like more than 10 or 6 feet like that. You can call that as trees. Cassava, woody shrub plants. Cassava, woody shrub they have mentioned. It might be the correct, because this cassava is underground plant, underground stem, which you can take it like this potato and etc. And they can use it as a starch or for the staple diet. It is a woody shrub. It might be correct. And next is ginger, herb with pseudostem. It is, as you know, this ginger, turmeric, etc. is grow just over the ground. So it is the herb, and it also might be the pseudostem, because the real stem, actually the pseudostem is the thing which you are eating, and the real stem, which is the tiniest part. Malabar spinach, it is the herbaceous climber. It might be also correct. When you comes to the mint, they are saying it is annual shrub. Mint may not be the right answer, because this is might be a herb or like that, because mint is also comes under this leafy vegetables. It comes to the herb as an answer, and annual herb may be the right option. And fifth option is papaya is the woody shrub. One thing you have to note down here is, first thing is papaya tree is not woody. As you many people see papaya trees side of the roads etc., you can see that the wood stem is very lean or weak stem. So you can easily think that it is non-woody thing. So you can easily eliminate this. This one is the wrong. And another thing is, it is not a shrub actually. It is a herb which grown to some exceptional cases. It is one of the thing. Herb which grow beyond 1 meter and consist of non-woody thick stem. So mint and papaya is the wrong option, and only 3 is the answer. And next, 40th. With reference to the planet Earth, consider the following statements. Rainforests produce more oxygen than that produced by oceans. Marine plankton, first statement. Marine plankton and photosynthetic bacteria produce about 50% of world's oxygen. Third statement. Well oxygenated surface water contains several folds higher oxygen than its atmospheric air. First thing you have to see here is 1 and 2 both are contradicting statements. The options which consist of both 1 and 2, you can easily eliminate that. For example, A can be eliminated and D can also be eliminated, because among these two statements, one statement might be correct. So you can easily eliminate D. So there is a confusion between B and C. If you know anything, any lead about one statement also, you can get to the right option. The first statement is rainforests produce more oxygen than that produced by oceans. Many people think that, as usual, the rainforest is called as lungs of the world. So it might be the correct, maybe it produces more oxygen. But it is a wrong statement. It is one of the trap. It is a wrong statement. Marine planktons and photosynthetic bacteria, which consist of more oxygen, about 50% of world's oxygen is produced from these marine planktons. But because the rainforest small area which consists of high amount of oxygen, so it is called as the lungs of the forest, not just because of the percentage of oxygen derived from them. So statement 1 is wrong. If statement 1 is wrong, you can easily eliminate this third option. And my second option is definitely will be correct. And third thing is, this is also a wrong statement. You can easily eliminate through logic. Like for example, Well oxygenated surface water, even normal oxygen consists of around 21% of oxygen in the air. When it compares to the ocean surface, it might not be the correct, because in ocean there are several other elements like sodium, chloride, etc. And ocean oxygen is very small amount of this present in the water. So it might not be correct. And the correct answer is only 2 is the correct.